There are so many videos out there that talk about, is the Honda Transalp a good first bike? But unfortunately, those people have been riding for like 10 or 20 years. This is my first bike, so I feel, as a new rider, I can tell you if it's a good first bike or not. And for those of you TikTokers out there who want an answer really quickly, I can give you the short answer now, and then you can watch the whole video to understand why. So the TLDR, the short answer is, yes, I think so, but, yes, there's a but. The first 1,000 kilometers, I've done 3,000 kilometers on this bike now. The first 1,000, I was really nervous. Not when it was moving, but when you're doing slow maneuvers or moving it around in a car park. It is a heavy bike. Now, having done 3,000 kilometers, I'm a lot more confident with it. I still got a lot more improvements to do. I still am a little bit nervous in slow maneuvers, but definitely getting a lot more confident. I have got various accessories done to the bike, and I will post a video on what accessories I've added to the bike. So for those of you who want to know about that, then do subscribe below so you can find out about that. And I have had some issues with some of the accessories fitted by Honda officially. They're not Honda accessories, but they were fitted and recommended by Honda. And I've had this bike about kind of 7 or 8 months now, and Honda have probably had it at least a month out of that to try and resolve it. I literally just picked it up now, and I think unfortunately it's not resolved, but I might have to live with it. It was an expensive accessory, so I will talk about that in another video as well, specifically for that accessory. For those of you who want to know what that is the Scottoiler. It lubricates the chain depending on how much it's been used, the motion, the heat, and all that stuff. So back to the review of this bike for a first-time bike. I wanted a bike that I could grow into. I didn't want a bike that would take me 10 years to grow into, or worst case, I might actually not like it and actually not like riding. I love riding, and I love riding this bike, but I've still got a lot more to grow into. I hear quite a loud bike coming up now, so that is one more accessory I will do in the next 12 months, is change the stock exhaust. I do want a louder exhaust. Not too loud, not as loud as that one, I don't know if you can hear it, but louder definitely. But I think it's a very good first bike, but be prepared to practice slow maneuvers in a car park, those tight circles, moving it around with the engine off, and I still got to keep practicing that over and over again. I'm just looking to see if the bike comes down here. No, it's shot over. It was, I think it looked like a street triple. Oh, that was loud. I did look at the NX500, and that's what Honda recommended to me. They weren't trying to upsell, they were actually being really sensible. When I went to Triumph, they were trying to upsell me a bigger and bigger bike every time I went in to discuss it with them and saying, yeah, you'll grow into the 1200 Tiger. And I was like, that's a massive piece of bike. So that actually put me off. Whereas with Honda, they were trying to kind of, you know, bring me down. I actually wanted the Africa Twin, but rightfully so. I'm glad I didn't get it because that's a lot of bike. So the NX500, so what I did, I actually went to Thailand, and you can rent a lot of Hondas quite affordably, about kind of 30 euros per day. So I rented the NX500 for a week, and I loved the bike. It was a great bike, but I could already feel myself slightly outgrowing it. I hadn't outgrown it, that is incorrect, but I could see myself within 12 months outgrowing it, and I could only have one bike, and my wife wouldn't let me change the bike in 12 months. Well, you know, you make a big loss on cars and bikes when you change them too frequently. So I wanted a bike that I could probably keep for 10 years maybe. I don't know. Like I said, it hasn't been a year yet, so maybe ask me again in a few years. But at the moment, I can see me keeping this bike for 10 years and really enjoying it. And I feel I get the most out of it. I get familiar with the bike, but also I get the biggest bang for my buck, let's say. So I am thoroughly loving the bike. I love all the accessories that Honda recommended, well, most of them anyway. I would get this as a first bike. I'm not going to go through the tech spec because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on the Honda Transalp 2025 tech spec. So I'm not going to go through that. Is that the same bike? Sounds like the same bike. I wonder if it's a different one. Let's see it. I couldn't see it, but it sounded the same. So I weigh about 75 kilos, I'm 5'9". So if you're kind of around that size and weight and shape, then the bike is a bit hard to manage, but you do get used to it and you can manage it with a bit more practice, and I got a lot more practice to do. When I go to Thailand next week, I will be renting this bike again in Thailand. I had the same color in Thailand last time, got it for a couple of days, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So if you can go somewhere where you can affordably kind of rent the bike, do try it out. Even if you only do it for like an hour and do it in a car park or something like that, just see if it's something that you can grow into. Maybe take a friend who can maybe help you get the bike there if you are a bit nervous, if the bike is a bit bigger than what you're used to. 3,000 kilometers, I was hoping to do 10 in kind of 6 months. Work got in the way and life, and it happens, but in the next 12 months I'm sure I will do an extra 10,000 kilometers, and I can give you that 10,000 kilometers review and see if it's changed from what I'm saying now. I don't think it will. I am loving the bike. It has got all the power I need for me. I still have it in standard mode. I haven't even put it in sport mode. If I drop it, I can pick it up, which is great. I don't know how many times I could pick it up. I think I will get tired fairly quickly, but again, you can practice that. And I travel with a passenger, and I don't feel that there is a loss of power when I have a passenger, a pillion on the back. And I've done it with the luggage. So with a 58-litre back box and also the 2 large side panniers fully loaded. I don't feel I have lacked any power in that. This is a 2025 model, but they're all very similar. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I would be really keen to know your thoughts on the bike, if you would get it as a first bike or not, regardless of how many years or kilometers experience you have. And I'll look forward to seeing you in future videos. Now let's go for a ride, the sun's out.